So go into the multiplayer level. Unfortunately, we're just showing this on a single TV, so it will be one man swinging around in the multiplayer stage. But I can assure you that downstairs, or rather across the hall, we've got it for the public to play multiplayer. And this is something that we had in there about 10 months ago. And even though I personally am not a huge multiplayer guy, I loved it. It was something that right away was a lot of fun, because if you played multiplayer, you know what the basic standard rules of the game are, but then just throwing the swing mechanic on top of that creates a weird sort of, I guess, cool dichotomy that exists where if you're on the ground...
4, 3, 2, 1, start.
If you're on the ground, it's really easy to sort of aim, and you're a lot more accurate, but then you're also an easier target. If you're swinging like this in the air, it's going to be harder for people to hit you, but then the second you stop swinging again, they're going to know exactly where you are, because the swing is such a visual move that if I'm sitting on top of a roof with my sniper rifle and I see a guy swinging in the distance, all I have to do is track him and see where he lands. Then he's a sitting duck. So by going in the air, you get speed and you're harder to hit, but also people now know where you're at, and knowing where the enemy is at in multiplayer is having that information is sometimes the key to the game. You can see the costume here is very different from the main player. This is meant to be an FSA soldier with a bionic arm. It's not an implant like the main character of the game. It's something that's externally attached so that they can have a whole legion of bionic soldiers, basically. Because of that, you can't do all of the moves that the main character can, but you can still do a lot of the key moves, like death from above, like the zip kick, etc. The multiplayer itself has been designed with a separate team internally, and there are people that have done Counter-Strike mods, Half-Life mods. They played a lot of Unreal. So basically they know what it's like to have really good fine-tuned multiplayer balance. The size, the level, the damage the weapons do, all of that's been tuned separately from the single-player experience so that multiplayer is going to be as fair as possible.
How many players at one time?
It's 10 players at one time. We were initially shooting for 16, but ultimately the fact that you can connect onto other people, the wire itself, that requires a lot of complex math, and rather than having a really laggy experience, the swing had to be smooth, so we limited it to 10.
How many maps?
I think there's about 12 to 16 right now. We're not 100% fixed on what the final number will be, and we may actually throw some away so that we have the best maps of the bunch. But there are key modes like deathmatch, team deathmatch, capture the flag. There's a race mode, etc. So, variety of different modes to play in that you're used to. But then on top of that, when you throw the swing mechanic, it really does change the way that you're going to play multiplayer. It feels very, very different and unique from any other game that you're going to see. We've also, I've mentioned this before, but we're trying to connect to the community as much as possible. That's something very American. It's new for a Japanese publisher. There's not a lot of Japanese games that have a heavy emphasis on online or community. And so we're going to do some very detailed stat tracking for the game. And then you'll be able to check out your statistics online on the community site. So that, again, is a new challenge for the company, as well as, of course, working with a foreign developer to reinvigorate a franchise like this. I really hope it pays off, because Bionic Commando is a great series, and I think it's something that is relevant in gaming and has a unique gameplay mechanic. There's really not a lot of that in gaming right now.